So this is actually predator patterns, but this is based off a separate predator because the first one was about specifically a different type of predator, but this one to me is the more serious one. Um so the first one they do is they isolate you. You know, they try to speak with you alone and they try to engage with you privately. Specifically, one of my dad's siblings was this type of predator, and to me, it's more serious than the first one. They both are serious, but to me, I think psychologically, this one is a lot worse. Um, so what he would do was, like, if we were at a family gathering, and at this time, I was not aware that the abuse that I suffered from him, just because it was so severe that I think I just blocked it out at that time. And I always remember that this relative would, like, if I was going to the restroom, and then I would come out, he would just be there. Like, he would be like, "Hey, how's school? What you doing in school? What are you reading right now? How do you feel about being here today?" Um, and it would seem normal, and it would seem very like, oh, they're just concerned about me, but it's like they're trying to get moments alone with you so that they can interact with you and build a relationship with you outside of, like normal conversation in front of family or in front of friends or in front of just like general social situations. And I think this one is the one that we see mostly in movies, where it's like it's a guy that seems very casual, very cordial, and he just seems like a nice guy, but he's not a nice guy. And another thing is gifts. They take gifts very seriously. It's like they'd seek to give you stuff all the time. And I remember when I was younger, my dad and this relative, who's a sibling of his, um, he would just give me gifts sometimes. Like I remember sometimes he would give me like $100 randomly, and I'll just be like, "It's $100. That's cool." I'll just be like, "Oh, it's just because he's my uncle." So I was like, "Okay," like he gave us $100. But it's like when people asked me, "Oh, what did you get for Christmas?" I would be like, "Oh, he gave me $100," and then it was like a hush hush situation. I wasn't supposed to talk about it. I wasn't supposed to communicate that someone gave me a gift. So it's like literally I was being bribed, or just like given guilt gifts. Um, both of these patterns, both of them gave me gifts, and none of them were things that I ever asked for. It was always they just gave me stuff, and it felt like a consolation prize. Like I took this from you and I'm giving you this because I feel bad about it, but I'm not going to apologize and I'm not going to actually change. That's how it felt like. That's what it felt like. And that's what it seems like even now. Um, and then three, is stalking and watching you. I remember a lot of the time that I would hear that he was checking up on me and seeing where I was and asking if I was okay or what was going on. But, I think this is one that people don't really question a lot because a lot of people just say, oh, like, oh, he's wondering where you are. But it's like, why? Like, why would a grown man um, be checking on his niece that often and, like, trying to interact with her? Um, and private settings in a public atmosphere. Like, you have to think about stuff like that. Because, I read a book that was kind of like that. They were like, it was a fictional book about a youth minister that actually got um, one of the kids in his youth group pregnant, and he was taking her home, and he was mentoring her, and like she was in his room privately, and it's like you have to ask, why are these people that are grown adults communicating with kids in these ways? And like, it's very intimate settings, but it seems casual, it seems cordial, and it's just not. And when you dig deeper about it and you think about it more, you kind of got to realize those things are grooming. And you have to realize, like, that's predatory. So, yeah, those are the ones that I personally think about a lot. And they you just gotta be careful for those things. Because you gotta question why people are doing stuff. And, like, why are they trying to give you stuff? Why are you trying to buy me stuff? I don't know you. You know what I mean? And you gotta, as well as gift giving is also like a form of love bombing sometimes, but it's kind of separate from that. It's not like they're just like, here's a laptop, here's some clothes, here's here's my firstborn. Like, it's not like that. Well, not like your firstborn. That wasn't a good joke. But like, it's like they excessively give you stuff when they love bomb. But this one is more of like, I'm gonna give you this, but I'm giving it to you because I want you to know later that. Oh, actually, a good example is like, for example, I saw my dad one time at a gas station, and he was like, "You want some food?" And I was like, "I do want food." I wasn't broke, but I was like, I don't want to spend no money. But I was like, if I get this food from him, he's gonna think I owe him, and this is gonna be a gateway, or he's gonna see this as like a way to get back in with me. And it's kind of like that. It's like they give you gifts because they want you to owe them. They want you to be in debt to them, and they want you to, like, maybe even feel a little guilty. Because if you feel guilty, then they can come back to talking to you. So it's a multifaceted thing, but just don't be out here taking gifts. Don't take gifts unless it's like a good. If you know it's a healthy person, yeah, like, that's fine. But you gotta be very careful with people, men and women, because girls do this too, and men do it too. It's not just one or the other. And even if there's people that have different orientations, wherever you think, whatever people think they are, you still have to be careful in those too. Um, but yeah, pray about this stuff. Ask God for clarity, and please, consider, like, if you look at movies and you look at shows, a lot of these things are spiritual stuff, and a lot of these things are in the Bible too. So please look, um, ask God for clarity on this subject. Ask God for help in this subject. Please don't engage with these people, and please understand that God's got you if you are in those situations, and that help ask God for help to get out of those situations. And God bless you, God keep you, and please be safe, and just ask for help. And there are places you can go online as well for help in those situations. And also, please do ask God to be your therapist, and go to God for help in these situations. So God bless you, God keep you, God help you, and just I just pray that everybody just be careful, please. Amen.